1 week after the WBC lifts a sanction that it had imposed on Luis Ortiz for the banned substance he had in his system. Lorceton, matter of fact, he had 2 banned substances. Lorceton is something else. 1 week after the sanctions has been lifted from Luis Ortiz, he's been reinstated again. But not only that, he has to pay 25 grand. And he's going to be fighting some guy by the name of Daniel, the Mountain Man Martz, a guy from Clarksburg, West Virginia. And he's going to be on the undercard of Jean Pascal. Jean Pascal's fighting, I think, on Friday night. Yeah, Friday versus some Egyptian guy who's undefeated. And that's going to be on PBC. I believe PBC on FS1. Okay, so Luis Ortiz is back in the mix. He's going to be fighting in 3 days. Or at the end of this week, not the end of this week, this Friday coming up, but he still got to pay that 25 grand for not disclosing what medications he was taking that he popped dirty for when he got tested by VADA, you know what I mean? So, Luis Ortiz, the man is grateful. He's thankful to the WBC, you know what I mean, that he's still in their rankings, because to him, that was what was most important, you know what I mean? This guy is no longer Anthony Joshua's mandatory. He was taken out of the WBA rankings. I'm sure Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua, that was a sign of relief. But don't worry about it. Sooner than later, hopefully Deontay Wilder will be taking care of Anthony Joshua's former mandatory, Luis Ortiz, you know what I mean? So he's going to be fighting, I think it's a 10-rounder fight versus a guy by the name of Daniel, the Mountain Man Martz. I believe this guy fought fellas like I think he fought Brian Jennings and Joseph Parker, you know what I mean? He's not a known commodity. Man got 16 wins and 5 losses. So I expect Luis Ortiz to walk through this guy, you know what I mean? But, Luis Ortiz is back in the mix. He's still in the WBC rankings. He got to pay that 25 grand, I remember, what's his name? Bermane Vern, he had to pay 75 grand for not disclosing, or when he got popped dirty for some kind of bad substance in his sports energy drink, you know what I mean? So this is good to see, actually. I'm not mad at this fight, actually, just because, I do want Deontay Wilder to face this guy. I really do, you know what I mean? Because Anthony Joshua and them wouldn't. Deontay Wilder stepped up to the plate. He was about to get that fight. And Luis Ortiz was negligent, and he didn't disclose his medications that he's taking, you know what I mean? So he has to pay a 25 grand fee, you know what I mean? And he'll be fighting this guy, the Mountain Man Martz, you know what I mean? And, it's good to see this guy back in the mix, even though I'm not a fan of him anymore because he did ruin that November 4th date, you know what I mean? He did. I'm sorry. I don't care what nobody say. And he had the nerve to show up at the Deontay Wilder fight on November 4th versus Bermane Vern, and, this guy doesn't speak for himself, basically. He let his management speak for himself. He does understand English. He can speak a little bit of English, but, this guy, he got to take his career into his own hands and make sure that he's on top of his game if he wants that world title shot. Because like I've always said, he messed up that date, knowing damn well that he has a daughter who needs medical attention, you know what I mean? Medical, who needs medical aid and stuff, you know what I mean? So Luis Ortiz will be fighting in 5 days, ladies and gents, boxing heads and fight fans around the world. I'm looking forward to it, you know what I mean? Looking forward to that card in particular. So this fight actually replaces Edwin Labamba Rodriguez. He was supposed to be fighting Chad Bad Johnson, you know what I mean? I'm sorry, not Dawson, you know what I mean? Chad Dawson. And I'm mad that fight ain't happened because, I wanted to really see that fight at 175, but it is what it is, man. Another Al Heyman promoted card or managed card. Al Heyman fighters from Luis Ortiz, I'm not sure about Jean Pascal, but I think that Egyptian guy he's fighting is managed by Al Heyman. But there you have it, man. Luis Ortiz will be on your TV in the near future. Try 5 days. Be Marsh Boxing. Leave your thoughts and comments. I'm gone. Peace.